is a Cosmic Octave original podcast.
Me and Jake running down the street with a handful of comic books, kicking ass and banging chicks and drinking booze
No, not
and
me.
smoking
Not
weed.
me. I'm married.
Yeah, well,
I'm married.
Jake.
Can't do that.
Yeah.
I can fiddle.
Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.
It's a big argument. Episode 98 of Off Panel Off Topic.
Started with a
Bang.
big old row.
I said, we're almost at 100 episodes. Get it together, man.
I'm pissed.
Wow.
I don't know.
Gonna be a little bit lighter episode. Mostly gonna be talking about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, but we'll also
we saw that, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and a returning segment, RoboCopalooza, comes back.
I went to the Des Moines Con this past week.
You can talk
weekend.
about that
Yeah.
if you want. I mean, I wasn't there.
There wasn't
so.
much to talk about other than, it's cool to see my brother. And then these three guys from my other job showed up, and that was kind of neat because it was like, they're my favorite people, some of my favorite people I work with.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, feelings mutual. So it was kind of like, oh, hey, cool, you like comic books too?
Hey, man.
And that was cool.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. Anyway, let's get into it, Tyler. First thing I want to talk about today, obviously, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Let's get into our real quick spoiler-free thoughts about the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler, what'd you think?
Well, first of all, I just hate how as soon as Peter Parker shows up, he's just like a girl and just more concerned with, having fun than the fate of the multiverse. Like, that just pissed me off.
Oh, yeah. When Peter
Who said that? There was somebody on Twitter that was talking about that.
Oh. Well, you know what?
It was one of those chuds that we fight against. I don't actually think that at all.
I want to pull it up on Twitter.
But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. We're not going to do like a full-on Griff report about that, but
No.
I do want to talk about
But it's a fantastic
some
movie.
of the terrible, like the dumbest take on this movie is from the Critical Drinker, and I want to talk about that. But yes.
I thought it was fantastic. I laughed.
Unbelievable.
I cried.
Unbelievable.
The animation was insane. The voice work was insane. The way that the movie was put together, just every bit of it, and so many fucking deep cuts.
Yeah, so many
deep,
I'm glad we're not one of those channels that fucking breaks down Easter eggs and stuff, because that would be a hard job.
We'd have to watch it about 7 times and take notes.
I don't think I could do that.
No, okay, when we get into the spoiler stuff, we'll discuss this, but what you said we laughed at was not what I was talking about.
Yes, it was.
No.
Yes.
It's a different thing. Something happened where they were going through like a city scene or whatever, and somebody said something. Anyway, let's go. I don't want to talk about it until we get to spoiler-rama.
I think it's unbelievable that they did it again. They made arguably the best Spider-Man movie ever made, and then they do it again. Now, I would argue that No Way Home has a special place there, and for me, there are a couple, but I think there's only maybe 2 really bad Spider-Man movies. But man,
And what are those? 3's pretty
Amazing
bad.
Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 3, I would say, probably.
But
anyway, but I'm digressing from that. But what I'm trying to get at is those movies are good too. Like it's hard to find a really bad Spider-Man movie, but man,
he's generally been in good hands.
But the bar is set so freaking high now with these movies because it's the fact that each dimension has their own art style and their own life and vibrance to it, and then yeah, we'll get into it when we get the spoilers, because it's hard not to talk about this in spoilers and generalities. But what I will say is this: great cast. Like Oscar Isaac is fucking awesome as he's in everything. He's fantastic in this movie. I just really love the message of it. I really just I can't believe they did it again. I cannot wait for the third movie. It is.
I didn't even know there was a third one.
So
I was looking at him like, what the fuck? And he's
speaking of that,
Pizza time.
we're getting into the spoilers, everybody.
Turn away.
Last notice. If you don't want to be spoiled, stop the episode. Go watch the movie, because it's
One more time.
Pizza time.
Yeah.
and it's even perfect because it's a Spider-Man. I would even say
Godspeed, Spider-Man.
Ooh.
that will get a lot of play today. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Do I still have the big brain on Spidey? Because there's a few of those moments in this movie. But anyway, across the Spider-Verse, full spoilers. What do you want to talk about? Because
there was so many times like when I laughed out loud, just because it was just unexpected, like side shit said by somebody or whatever, or just like a quick little flip right before they changed into the next scene.
Can I just say this? I'm not the first person to say this. This is literally Spider-Man daddy issues, and I love it. I love it. I think really, really playing on the childhood of the two characters, because when you think about it, Spider-Man is always, I think why he's such a beloved character and he's lasted for so long, and why I love him and you love him, because there's always different versions to love of this character. And when you reach that, like Batman's like this, and there's there's a couple characters like that, Superman, and I was trying to think of another Wolverine. Like there's always different versions of that character that's iconic. And the best Spider-Man stories focus on him still being a kid and focus on the fact that he's a teenager or he's in his early 20s. You know what I mean? Like he's still trying to figure his life out, and he's Spider-Man, and like everybody can relate. That's what made him so good, and that's what always made him so good. Is he's so freaking relatable. And man, like Miles is so good in this movie. Like all of it is so good.
I have to say my favorite Spider-Man in the movie absolutely was the one from what was it called? Bomb Manhattan.
Oh, Spider-Man India.
Yeah. What was it called? The city. Manhattan was called something
like
different.
That. And it wasn't it Petka, or what was his name?
I remember. I have no idea.
It was instead of Peter Parker, it was an Indian version.
Sure, but I don't remember
version of that.
Look it up if you want. I'll go ahead and talk about it because my favorite part about it was it was a really it sounded like Kunail Nanjiani, but I don't know.
Oh, it's the dude who was a Dopender in Deadpool.
Oh yeah,
cab driver. I think that was him. Yeah.
But the guy, first of all, it was just really really funny and well done. I knew nothing about Spider-Man India before this movie, and his like. What I don't know the weapons he uses or whatever, those rolling pin things.
Yeah.
But those were fucking cool as shit.
Oh, and I love that he's not a typical Spider-Man variant because his life is easy.
Yeah, and him going through it like my super thick hair.
The chai tea bit. Oh, so funny.
You're saying
you just tea.
Chai means tea.
You know what else I love about this is it does what that first movie did really fun was using the characters telling their backstory, like breaking it down and like telling their backstory, and they keep that theme that they had in the first movie in this.
Well, you start with Gwen this time, and that opening sequence with the drums.
Sorry, let's get into that. Holy shit, this movie starts out on a fucking banger note. Within the first 2 minutes of this movie, I'm like, it's
a drum solo.
I am invested. No, yeah. I listened to the soundtrack on the way home because this soundtrack is fucking amazing.
Wow. Okay.
And
yeah, the music was really fucking good.
Yeah, I'm the kind of, but see, that's I've always obsessed about shit like that. So like, if I really like a score, I'll listen to it on the way home from a movie. And like, dude, this fucking, I want to get there because I really want to talk about the prologue. And I want to talk about how this movie takes chances. And this movie, I think why people love this version of Spider-Man and love the Spider-Verse movies is because they fucking take chances, man. And you're not going to see that in any other Spider-Man movie, any other superhero movie. It's not going to start with a fucking drum solo, man. It's just not. And it does.
You do got to understand that Chris Lord and Phil Miller, which I don't think they directed this one.
They just wrote it. There was 3 directors. I could pull that up real quick.
But the point is that they're the driving forces behind the first 2 and this whole trilogy, right?
Yeah.
And they're fucking brilliant. And the reason why they're brilliant is because they're able to take. I would so rather have a solo in this world that was just theirs.
Yeah.
Fucking Disney, you fucked that up, dude. Because you know how good I haven't seen.
That would have been a great.
I haven't seen a stinker from them. Yeah. So how could it have been bad? You know what I mean?
Even the Jump Street movies were hilarious. And
right?
Yeah.
Anyway, but they clearly have a love for the source material, but they're viewing it as somebody who grew up with it and everything. And that's brilliant. And they also have a lot more freedom than the MCU does. or even the Sony, franchise does, because it's really these movies are and can be outside of all continuity.
Dude, you know how we always
standalone shit.
Well, and you know how we even on the animation side, we talk about how there's always these certain styles of movie or these certain filmmakers, whatever, that it's a trendy business. It always has been. I can't tell you how happy I am when we have a positive trend like these Spider-Man movies, because look at the fucking animation we've gotten since Into the Spider-Verse. Like,
every time Hobie Brown was on screen, he was like made out of newspaper. That was cool as shit.
My wife thinks it's hilarious because I whenever I get a chance to, I will gush about Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, because that movie is way better than it should be. And because that movie takes chances and it does things with the animation style, and dude, that new TMNT movie looks awesome. And what I really love about that is how it just applies, and they make it, and they do what when it understands, like, this is a visual medium. We got to give you eye candy, and it just so happens there's a really good story behind it too. And specifically, when Gwen is confronting her dad, and both the scenes that we have that in this movie, holy shit, man, that is so cool. And at first I thought my brain was messing with me, because every time there's one shot between them, the background is changing and evolving. Every time they're talking, shading changes.
While they're talking on the characters,
they were having a conversation.
The characters. Yeah. Oh, dude, that was the entire movie.
No frame of this movie is wasted. Like,
yes.
Every single frame, there's something new and changing and different.
Is used.
And because they do,
effect.
and because they do that stylistic choice, it feels like living, breathing worlds, living, breathing characters. Like, it, in a way, by going a more instead of just fixing a camera on it, they said we can fix a camera on it, but do what a live action movie can't. And change a style every frame. Like, that's so fucking wild. And like we were just talking about, Spider-Punk, his look. How does that 2-dimensional look work on a 3-dimensional world?
It totally does. It totally does. He totally looks like a real part of that world, but yeah, he's very 2-dimensional. He looks like he's made out of newspaper every time.
Yeah. But you're right. The more it embraces that it's an animated movie, the better it is. And I think you're seeing more animated movies do that. And I want it to. Because I could watch a live action movie if I wanted something that's just static and in front of me. And, things happen. Unbelievable. And the reason I called it Daddy Issues, Spider-Man Daddy Issues, is because what I think they did was really smart. They start the movie with Gwen. They mirror Gwen's story with Miles, and in an organic way, because honestly, that stuff I read. I didn't read all. I read the first arc of, I think it was Jason Aaron who did Spider-Gwen.
I have no idea.
The book, but I read that book, and a lot of what you see in the prologue of this movie is directly from that comic. So it's not like they're like completely changing Spider-Gwen as a character. They're pretty true to who she was in the comics. And then I was like, oh wow, yeah, her story does very much mirror. And then when they open it up later in the movie and explain the canon concept, it is so meta and so smart and so awesome.
A canon event, yeah, you disrupted a canon event,
and they point out, every spider person has to have a tragic start, and like the fact that they play, like, it's so good, it's so smart, and to call it, just flat out call it canon. So wait a second,
Gwen's dad, who was a Captain Stacy, quit, so he's no longer a captain, and Miles' dad
is becoming a captain,
right?
Yeah. So it's the cosmic.
And that's also his father figure. In Miles' story, his father dying will be a twofold. It'll be his father figure and his Captain Stacy, or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah, because it's always in a captain. It's always some sort of authority.
How much you want to bet
in
the third movie that Miles somehow causes the death of Gwen's dad?
Ooh, or his mom. What if his mom dies?
No, Gwen's dad.
No, I'm saying what if,
because that's his Captain Stacy.
No. I'm saying that.
So he creates his own canon event, but he also does hers.
She already had one.
Yeah,
Peter was her canon event.
Peter was her Gwen.
Yes.
She hasn't had the Captain Stacy because that's her dad. Yes,
don't-
you have to have two.
So just calm down.
If you watch the movie, you know that there are two canon
Yeah.
events that have to happen. It has to be the police captain guy, whoever it is, but generally Captain Stacy, or it has to and it has to be the uncle or the dad or whatever, Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
Guaranteed, dude. I guarantee you in the third movie, Miles somehow causes the death of Gwen's dad, which takes care of both of their tragic canon events.
Yeah. I don't know why you got so aggressive with me.
Well, you weren't listening.
Come on, man. It was a great idea. I could see his mom dying too, but that would be my
Why?
because
Miles's parents don't happen. There's nothing that happens to them in the third movie because he already killed. Fuck off.
what?
Hate you.
You really don't want him because you care.
So no, I mean, just
But the
generally
canon stuff, yeah. That
so many laugh out loud moments. So many like. Here's one of the shows. One of my favorite shows on TV, and it just finished, is Barry. And one of the reasons why I love Barry is shut the fuck up.
He's talking about Barry again.
Because it's fucking amazing.
Ugh.
One of the things I love about it is it's got everything you could want. It's got comedy, it's got action and violence, it's got drama, it's got all of it. It's got everything, right? And that's what this movie is. Like, obviously the violence is much more toned down, but there's still action and there's comedy during tense moments, which
Yeah.
is how real life is.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of the comedy in that show comes from. And that's why I love stories like this and creators like Lord and Miller who are able to make a movie not seem so much like a movie. You know, I mean, you see a movie with two people having a dramatic moment and you know it's a movie because it's scripted, you know, and they're acting to, you know, whatever. But you see two people acting in a dramatic moment and something happens where they both kind of chuckle about something and you're like, well, this feels like real life.
Yeah.
And that is this movie. How many times, like, okay, fucking Miguel is trying to be all badass and shit, and his fucking thing is taking forever.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, it's slow.
And again,
Like, that's
the movie,
funny.
The funny thing about that too
But
is
it doesn't make him any less like menacing, right?
yeah, and the movie itself had gone such a long way to make him this mysterious, intimidating character, and then it does take the piss out of him a few times, but it still works in the rest of the tone of the movie because he's not it happens to every character. Every character kind of gets taken down a peg because it's funnier that way. And I just want to, again, I talked about it earlier, but Oscar Isaac, holy shit, man, he is so good in this role. So, and it's amazing, and this is why this cast is so good, is they do a great job of putting their performance through. Like, you can feel their presence even though it's animated, even though it's just a voice. You still they breathe life into those characters.
I was thinking, like, are they like during action sequences? Like, it wouldn't surprise me. These are such great actors that they'd be like, "Can I jog on a treadmill during this or something?" You know what I mean? Like, you could almost like feel like they were breathing heavily. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like during the action sequences, the voice direction or the acting was
I
so
also
good.
like how they kind of look like the actors, but they not quite. They still have their own look.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like because Miguel kind of has like a big thick jawline, like Oscar Isaac does, but he still looks like a different character. While Gwen kind of looks like Haley Steinfeld, but a little bit more cartoonish. You know what I mean? What?
I guess so. I just like seeing you all pissed.
What?
No, you're right.
But you know what I mean?
Basically, if you took
Like,
Haley,
you took
Haley Steinfeld and ran her
So
through
mad at you.
like
Like an app,
like a
like
powdered donut shop,
yeah.
because she's fairly dark.
She's tanner, yeah.
She's got dark hair and whatnot. And Gwen is more blonde and whatnot. But the eyes and like
That's
the,
what I mean.
the
They kind of have a
face.
little bit of a resemblance of the actors,
I
but
guess
they're
so.
still their own. Shut up. Again, I listen to because
Hey.
with this movie does really well is it, like the first movie, just relies heavily on a really fucking good soundtrack. And Like that beginning, dun, 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 that is original. Like
when they're going on that train, like the last sequence, right?
Yeah.
And like the music kept changing,
the drum,
and then
the kick pedal,
and then
at the bottom.
like I
like
felt
shit.
it. I felt the tension through that music. Like, I mean,
And of course, it's a drum end because it's a bookend, right? You have the drum solo at the beginning. You have this big epic like kick drum because it's Gwen, and like, just the music is so fucking good.
I loved how he had it playing the whole time.
What?
He had it playing the whole time.
The drums?
No, Miles. He had it
Oh,
playing
the playing the whole time. Yeah,
And like, he did have a plan.
But like, what I really loved about Spider-Man 2099 and what I loved about Gwen, and really good movies do this. Each character has a distinct style of music that's behind them and a distinct kind of theme. So it's a little bit more, like I said, kick pedal, drum heavy when it's Gwen. When it's Miles, it's a little bit more, hip hop. And when it's Miguel, it's like fucking heavy synth and like
well, he's
that fucking horn.
2099.
Dude, when he comes through the portal and it's those laser looking webs and and he blocks that fucking vulture, I was like, oh,
Dude, that vulture was so cool. Right?
This movie's so good. Oh, I love
like,
this movie.
You shouldn't use fire because like you look like you're made out of parchment.
Yeah. And that was the first sign of like, oh, we're gonna have a bunch of different art styles in this movie,
Right? And you're just like, oh shit, yo. Like that was and he was fucking funny as fuck too. He's like, I don't know what I was doing. You're like,
Yeah.
What happened to you? Like, I don't know.
Probably.
I was,
let me guess. You just fell through. Yes, that's exactly. You
That's
just fell through a portal.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Oh well, and then another thing this movie does really good is the Spot, who's never really been that big of a deal, and they do an amazing job of building. And it's like, wow,
the sequences with him were out of this world, dude. When he
Sometime-
puts the ATM in the street,
dude. Tyler, how is it? So
technically, I'm not stealing from you.
Marvel,
I'm stealing from them.
Listen to me.
Yes.
So you know how the MCU is trying to build up Kang to be this fit. How is it Spot has a better character arc than fucking Kang does? Like, and I didn't think it. Look, I still enjoy.
You want to know the truth?
Hold on.
Go ahead.
I enjoyed Ant-Man 3, and I enjoyed Jonathan Major's performance, but I feel like Jason Schwartzman, what he was doing and how they did with his character, there's a clear motivation. There's like the origin is a joke, but like everything he's doing in this movie is clear motivation, and they made him into an intimidating villain, and it's so funny because the Spot, when they introduce him, he's trying to fucking put an ATM and it goes through it's in the middle of the road.
So for if you haven't seen it, you obviously have. If you're listening,
we're
to this,
deep into pizza.
Oh yeah, deep in. Well, man, we're in the sauce.
We're lost in the
We're
sauce.
in the lost.
You know what I say?
Godspeed, Spider-Man.
Good luck getting out of that sauce.
Pizza time.
No, but obviously, like one of the best decisions that they made was that before he really became menacing and jacked his power level, his power set, he has no control over where his spots turn up at all.
No.
Like he is literally like he sucks at it.
Yeah.
The only reason you can't kick his ass is because he can't figure out what he's doing. Like you can't. And Miles, like the whole fight sequence between the two of them,
the loaf
is just
of bread that falls out of his chest.
Yes, dude. There was a little kid about 3 rows behind us.
Ate it up.
He fucking died laughing, and that made me laugh even harder because it was
the same thing.
It probably wasn't that funny to me, but just hearing a child laugh at how silly that was, like this movie's got the goods.
Well, that's the thing. That's I would say that's another reason why we laughed really hard at the Spider-Man Lego sequence because it's so dumb, and it's
boop,
like
boop.
You know what? I'm sorry.
Boop, boop.
I'm somewhere in our society.
You're one of the best we have. Thanks, man. Boop boop.
Somewhere in our society.
Thanks, Lego Spider-Man.
Somewhere in our society, we decided I could get this sentence out before Tyler kept doing boop boop sounds. Just messing with him. No, but yeah, somewhere in our society we had to be like, look, there's some, there's highbrow jokes and there's lowbrow. I don't care, man. A little Lego guy saying boop boop is funny as shit to me, and I will laugh at that.
The
I
whole
am not
sequence
above
was
that.
great, dude. I mean, it's Lego.
Well, they took the audio from the first Spider-Man.
Okay.
Because JJ is just saying the first thing he said in the first movie.
Okay.
Also, can we all applaud this movie for committing to the idea of like, no matter what, J. Jonah Jameson is a Nexus character because we will never recast J.K. Simmons So that's a hilarious gag in this
Right?
movie. He's JJ in every
He's
universe.
never, because he did it so well.
You'll never top that. You'll never top
he
that.
literally like took it off the fucking pages of the goddamn comic book and put it on fucking screen
You
somehow.
don't trust anybody. I trust my barber.
Just so classic.
One of the best things about that first movie. Unbelievable.
And he was great in No Way Home too.
Yeah,
As
the
a- as a
Alex
reprise,
Jones
yeah.
style.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
But
You're welcome.
Yeah, but yeah, again, that there are such really good emotional beats and like good Spider-Man beats that you also forget how funny this movie is. Because this is a very, very funny movie, and
Very funny, but
the comedy works. I think I would say 90% of almost 100% of the time, I was laughing at all the jokes.
oh yeah.
Dude, when okay, let's just get to the Spider Society. We're not going to touch on all the Easter eggs, but I want to talk about the things that we fucking laughed at the most.
Okay.
We'll get to Scarlet Spider. Save him, because we will talk about Spider. The first one that I think about, and I almost pissed myself laughing, the fucking 60s Spider-Man swinging at him and then missing, and it's just a static image that just keeps going, and it's like, oh my god, it was so good. The Spider T-Rex was. Can this get any weirder? And it's like, it was fucking Spider T-Rex, or the cat that puked webs on. Like, there's so many.
There's so many. Like, I
But-
can't even remember all of them.
Cat. I tweeted.
I'm pretty sure that dumb fucking like aluminum suit that Tony Stark made for Spider-Man in the comics was in there somewhere.
Some on my face.
Yeah. Dude, no. Okay.
But Scarlet Spider.
Okay, but before we talk about Scarlet Spider, can I talk about one of my favorites was Cowboy Spider-Man. Why does the horse need a mask?
Yeah.
But also because
Hey, you didn't.
you know that voice that we do?
Yeah.
Scarlet Spider and Cowboy Spider-Man used almost the exact same like type of like, hey,
Yeah.
Oh, like they both did. So every time one of them talked, I was just like, "That's fucking me and Jake, dude. It's so hilarious."
Yeah.
But then you told me that Andy Samberg played
Yeah.
the best ancillary character
frequent
in the movie.
Lord and Miller collaborator, Andy Samberg.
I feel like they were making fun
I-
of Rob Liefeld too. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, they were making fun of 90s comics.
Yes,
they were
basically.
100%
Oh, God,
making
yes.
fun of it.
I'm
because-
so distraught.
Oh, what's wrong? Oh, just thinking about my dark past.
You can't get out of my well-formed and
Defined
perfectly
muscles.
defined muscles.
Or when they're like, Ben, you're coming with me. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Such a douche, and he always had that hair and just.
Oh, yeah, his hair is like drooped to one side.
Oh my
like,
god!
I said it, and I mean it, and I fucking mean it, okay? I tweeted it. I said, give me an Andy Samberg Scarlet Spider movie.
Yes, or
I
a
want it.
series.
Oh, yeah. Either way, I want it. Side note, I'll talk about it in my long box because I'm in a Spider-Man mood. I've been playing. This is like my fourth time playing through the Spider-Man game, but now it's on my PS5. That I
It's
just
on my PS5.
that I just bought. Yeah.
Hey.
And I just unlocked the Scarlet Spider suit, and I will tell you, even before this movie, I love the Scarlet Spider suit. I love the simplicity of it. I love that it's ridiculous in 90s. Because even in this,
He's got a fucking hoodie.
first of all,
That's so stupid.
but I like it. I like
Well,
the
yeah,
way.
but it's so 90s.
Well,
you know?
why is he wearing a belt and why does he have
Yes!
web shooter looking
Yes!
things on his ankles? It doesn't make
Why?
sense. But all things
it was
things
easier for the artist to draw
All that
because he
aside-
didn't have all the webs on it. It's just red.
all that aside, that is why I love it. That's why I love comic books. And I actually liked how like Scarlet Spider actually looked cool in this movie. Like I liked his art style, like because he. And it does what that first movie did really well is it really does look and feel like you're inside a comic book. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And seeing all this different animation is like when it feels like each like dimension of the movie is like a separate issue that a different artist can. It's the same writers, but it's literally like that. You know, you have different writers coming in on different issues and doing work. That's
Yeah.
what it was.
Yeah.
What are you looking up?
My long box. Shut up.
Oh.
I didn't know we were doing one this week, you
oh.
ass.
Oh. I mean, we don't have to.
No,
But anyway,
I'm going to do a band this week.
I want to talk about more. There's so much I want to like. I could. Funny story. I one of my coworkers said he just watched it,
Okay.
and I said, "Oh my god, what is it amazing?" And we were just gushing about it. And he said something that I thought.
I want to see it again.
Here's the thing. It was 2 hours and 10 minutes, which is long for an animated movie usually,
Yeah.
because that's like
Yeah.
usually,
I didn't notice it.
most animated movies are like an hour and a half, 40, hour
I
45.
didn't notice it.
But that's what I mean. It was just like when I sat through the Batman and I looked at Luke and I said, I could watch 3 more hours of that. after that, as soon as that was over, I was like, God damn it, I have to wait a year. I will watch another 3 hours. I would watch a 3-hour version of this. Like, I wanted to keep watching it. I didn't want to stop.
So here's what's really okay. So here, one drawback about going to see a movie at Flicks, okay, is that they bring you your check about 20 minutes before
45.
Whatever.
That's their new policy, but it used to be, yeah.
It's
so you know it's towards the end.
Yes. And I didn't know there was a third movie. So we contemplated getting a whole thing of popcorn again because we fucking destroyed that fucking bowl of popcorn, dude. And that pizza. Holy shit, right?
Yeah.
But
I mean,
she brings us our...
Pizza time.
You had to know I was going to do that. And then I got the popcorn and I said...
Godspeed,
and they brought us a little bowl.
And then she brought me the check and it said...
$1 million, bitch.
That was some good popcorn.
It said that and then comma bitch on it. I don't know if you saw it, but it said
she was really nice. I don't think she wrote that.
She wouldn't say that.
She wouldn't say that.
This server that I don't know.
So
anyway,
so she brings us the check and everything, and I'm sitting there and I'm like kind of trying to work the math in my head. I'm like, there's no fucking way this movie is almost over because I don't know there's a third.
Yeah.
Until you tell me the movie ends and I look at Jake like, what the fuck? And he's like, yeah.
I gotta say, I do think that it
was kind of a cool surprise though.
Yeah, I think Sony could have done a better job explaining that they would do, because they originally announced it as Across the Spider-Verse Part 1. And then it was Part 2. So I knew when they first announced it that it was going to be in 2 parts.
But I do a podcast about comic book movies. You'd think I would.
But they changed the title too. It was going to be Part 1 and Part 2, but now it's Beyond the Spider-Verse.
I don't mind. I'm glad that we get more.
No, I'm excited.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, like, is this going to be like an hour and a half, hour 45? Because I feel like they could they're just going to have a big... And you know what? I think there's people that are upset about that. They're like, boom, to be continued. And like... It reminds me a lot of The Matrix Reloaded, where you get to the end and it's this thing where the Smith is in the real world, and it just says to be concluded.
But
and you're
we all knew that was going to be we all knew that.
You should have known better, Tyler. You should have done your due diligence. But you're right. But that's what I'm saying. Sony didn't do a good enough, because with that, and Back to the Future, where they did them back to back, or Infinity War and Endgame, you knew that they were going to be. So I could see that's how some people are a little confused. Like, wait, what? We're not going to get a resolution to this, or whatever.
I'll say this,
but it makes the third movie even better because now it feels like a third act.
Here's the thing: I'll say this at the moment I wasn't pissed. I was just like, what the fuck? Because I just didn't know. But it's been what?
We saw it on
72 hours now since we saw it. Like, I'm not
72.
Yeah, 3 days. 48 hours is 2.
We saw it on Sunday.
Okay, 48
We're
hours.
recording on a Wednesday.
48 hours is 2. So 96 hours?
Yeah.
Anyway, the point is...
I just said that.
People are in their cars getting their calculators up. Drive, man.
They've turned it off.
Yeah. I'm not... At no point was I, like, pissed. It was just kind of confusing. And it took me a second to kind of wrap my head around, like, wait a second. I really thought I was going to see an end to this. Like a resolution. But then I'm like, wait a second. We get more? All right. Okay. No.
I saw somebody.
How about some coffee?
I saw a couple takes on Twitter. So let's get to I want to wrap it up and talk about the twist. So the twist is awesome. I loved this twist because we find out, and I never really noted, and I don't remember if the number 42 was on the Spider in Into the Spider-Verse, but if it is, that's genius.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Because I feel like this was always a plan of trying to do 3 of these movies. But anyway, regardless, we find out that the reason Miles is not allowed to join the Spider Society is because he's an anomaly. He's the anomaly because the spider that bit him didn't belong to his universe. And now that universe doesn't have a Spider-Man. And
it's gone.
It's gone. Yeah.
He said
it died after it bit him. And
no, the universe that it came from is gone.
Yeah, because Miguel explains that he tried to take the life of a different Miguel that actually had a family, and when he did that, the whole universe collapsed. I don't buy that story. I think he's making it up.
Of course.
And so we had this thing of like, okay, so Miles is the anomaly. That's why pretty much Miles wanted to keep him at the Spider Society, because if he knows that the canon event for him is his dad dying, that he's going to go get his dad. There are people that have criticisms of this because they're like, a room full of different Peter Parkers wouldn't do that. I understand that, but Peter B. Parker is a great example of it. He's thinking of his family, and he doesn't want the idea of, like, what if a multiverse does, like, what if Miguel is right, and I don't want to lose my family. I don't want to, you know what I mean? So I feel like there would be, I don't think it'd be like as many guys that chased him and whatnot, but I think there would be a little bit of discussion. And, you know, I don't know. I feel like Peter's also logical.
Well, let's talk. Yeah.
I don't want to get nitpicky about it.
No,
to be
let's
honest,
talk-
because I want to have fun with it. But so, yeah, let's just get to.
But let's talk about
the ending.
what we thought was great about Miguel O'Hara
Yes.
being basically the embodiment of all these
Yes.
fucking these jerks.
You know, no,
on
it is. And the directors
this
confirmed it.
anti-woke bullshit
Yes.
is that you're the anomaly because it is such. I can't tell you how many times on Twitter the last couple of days that I've seen some sort of tweet about Miles Morales being or not
Miles
being Spider-Man.
Morales. He's just Miles Morales. Shut up.
I've seen both. I've seen Miles Morales is Spider-Man. I've seen, you know,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, I don't care. Like, it's not that I don't care. It's just, why is it a debate?
Because of racism.
Did you see Michelle Rodriguez, by the way, who
Shut
was
up.
so good in D&D?
Shut up. She just, yeah.
Right? You
Shut
fucking
up.
ass. You fucking ass.
Just to stir shit. That's all she's doing.
Probably.
It's dumb.
She drinks a lot. She's had issues with alcoholism.
Well, okay.
I watched the video. She looked a little tipsy to me,
Okay.
but that's just me.
Anyway,
I'm hoping that she's not relapsing or whatever.
um,
Anyway,
what I was trying to get at was what I was trying to agree with. Yes, the directors were asked about it in an interview. They confirmed that is the embodiment of the people that saying Miles can't exist. When, and I'm not gonna get worked up about this,
Are you sure?
but if you motherfuckers actually read something
Start off with motherfucker.
you dumb
You
bastards.
sons of bitches.
if you guys would have actually read the words that Stanley wrote or the things that Stanley stood for, he even says multiple times the reason Spider-Man has a full face mask is because he wanted kids to believe they could be Spider-Man. And that's why that's the whole trilogy. That is what this trilogy is about. And you stupid assholes can't understand themes. Okay, what's the theme of the first movie? Miles becoming Spider-Man and understanding that
There
he
can be
didn't,
more
he
than
didn't
one
feel
Spider-Man.
deserving of being Spider-Man, but then he realized, yes, I am, because anybody could be Spider-Man. Anybody can make the jump. Anybody can make the leap. What are we learning here? No, you have to follow the canon. You have to follow the rules. No, what Miles is saying, I'm going to do my own thing because you're not allowed to tell me my story. The whole fucking point of this movie is you don't let other people tell your story. And that's what Miles has always been about, and that's why you're scared. And that's why you don't like it.
Isn't it
because
interesting that these chuds have doubled down without any trace of irony at all?
How do you not understand you're the bad guy?
He's literally saying to you, you suck. And you're going, yeah, we do.
How dare you tell me how to be who I am? Like, that's fuck you. That's what this movie is.
My favorite thing is that there
Because
are
canon is like playing
these right-wing shitheads are all over, you know, whatever, just decrying this movie and it's woke and it's going to fail and all this. And what they don't even get is that they're playing right into exactly the symbolism that the movie is saying.
Yes.
You guys are shitheads and you're not smart enough to get anything. You're just not smart enough.
And you don't understand, and that's what I love too, is the moment of like, I thought we were the good guys. Because that's not how.
Listen, if any part of your argument involves dehumanizing or taking the rights away from somebody else or a group of people, you are not the good guy. I don't give a fuck about your inner monologue, motherfucking Ryan Canal, okay? You're an asshole. Hey, Melanie Mack, guess what? Anytime a church falls down or gets burned down, that's a bad thing against God, except for the ones that hate gay people. Those ones can go all the way. But, I mean, Melanie Mack, your whole existence is a mockery of God. I mean, literally, you are such a contradiction of shit.
They're going to say we're obsessed with her.
All right, well, I'm
We're
not
not
talking about her.
No, we're not. No.
No, just because of that, I'm not talking about her anymore. Let's move on.
I don't want to. I just want to bring up one thing.
Okay.
And I like I said, I didn't want to go in full Griff report, but that's what I mean. Like,
I'm angry because she's she's a liar, and
Well-
she wraps herself in this blanket of Christianity, which is not big enough to fucking cover up your bigoted fucking horns. Your devil fucking bigot horns, dude.
She to give people reference. As we're recording this, we're recording on Wednesday. She released a video, truly believing that a lightning strike that was from
Burned down a
God
house
that was
or
smiting these
church.
people because they said, "Hey, gay people are welcome."
She
here."
in the thumbnail, she's dancing next to a picture of a fallen steeple with.
And she
with a
truly believes
rainbow.
God did it. She truly does. Like she's that psychotic. Like it's
What kind of a fucking God is that, dude? I mean, what the
yeah,
fuck?
why would God do?
Right?
It's like the.
I don't want
Have
to
you-
fucking
have
believe
you-
in your
have you
God,
seen the-
man.
Stop it. Stop it.
Man.
You believe in all gods.
Oh yeah, have you seen that New York shit?
No, have you ever seen? No,
Gross.
it reminds me of that Stephen Fry thing my wife sent me because
Mm.
I'd seen it before and she sent it to me recently.
Mm.
About
Peter Parker.
Stephen Fry talking about if your God exists, how dare you? Is what he would say. Like you're gonna kill. Like how many children die of disease and things. Like, why would you do that? You could stop that. You're God. You could do whatever you want. And it's like, yeah. Why would God? You're gonna tell me like God would smite these people because they dared? Whatever. Point is,
fuck off, man.
the one thing
My God
the one,
is love and understanding.
The one thing I
Your
wanted to
God
talk
is
about.
a piece of shit.
This is what happens when a movie is universally liked. When it's a really good movie, these losers have to stretch. So this is the Critical Drinker, who has
No.
millions of subscribers, who
For
is
some reason.
who is a thick-headed fuck and doesn't understand themes, or he does.
I think they're
or he
thick-headed.
does, and he just likes money and he lies.
How much of them are
But-
bots?
But here's his take on Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
I can't fucking wait.
Here's how you know this economy sucks and it's stupid and it's not. It is anti-fandom because even when they like a movie, they have to find something to nitpick about it, and they'd have to put titles like "brilliant but flawed." Well, no fucking shit, idiot. Everything is flawed. Nothing is perfect. Because you know why? Humans made it, and human beings aren't perfect.
I hope
but
that's my that's on my tombstone. Brilliant but flawed.
39 seconds. Here's Critical Drinker, and his main criticism of it.
Stop pointing at me.
His main criticism of it. He doesn't really like how they're portraying the one white dude.
So I can't shake the feeling that the script is doing everything in its power to play down Peter Parker, like it's afraid the
It's
audience
not his
will somehow
movie.
start rooting for him over Miles if he's shown to be too capable and confident. The first movie portrayed him as an aging, burned-out loser who only redeems himself at the end, while the second film morphs him into a bumbling, hapless father in a pink bathrobe who for some reason keeps taking his baby along on life-threatening adventures, despite having a perfectly capable mother at home to look after it. Is this some weird attempt to mock and belittle the Spider-Man that most people know and love, who incidentally just happens to be the only straight white man in the
There
entire...
it is. We're waiting for the grift. And I want to point out
I'm pretty sure
that
there
is
were.
the dumbest
Yeah,
shit.
I'm pretty sure there were other straight people in that movie.
Did it also occur to him that this movie was made for children as well? Like kids saw this movie.
Did it also ever occur to him that he's a white dude and he's never had a problem being represented on screen or in movies or
you
magazines
know what
or
else?
on TV shows
You know what
ever?
else? You know what else they complain about? They complain about the pregnant Spider Woman. Like, this is ridiculous. She's pregnant. She's a super powered spider person. Also, hey, Tyler, coming close.
Yeah.
It's all silly because comic books are silly, good fun. Yeah. And when you embrace it, you'll have more fun. You dumb shit.
I
That was ASMR for assholes.
I got one more. Come here.
Oh yeah.
So, you know what I think is really funny is that
yeah.
all these people think that like once a woman is pregnant, they're like incapable
Oh,
of
yeah.
anything other than like sitting.
Despite the fact that this woman
and
would have
waiting
super
for the baby
strength.
for 9 months.
This woman would have super strength and superhuman abilities too. So I mean,
I remember when your wife was pregnant and like literally did nothing but sit and wait for the baby to come.
barefoot.
So that's
she sat barefoot
in the kitchen.
In the kitchen,
Yes.
yeah, on a stool while she was cooking
which was
my meals.
Yeah, which was interesting because
It was a weird time.
when I saw this movie, I was like, wait a second, pregnant women are not allowed.
Get back in the kitchen.
Wait a second, you're pregnant. Doesn't that like
We should do NPR.
doesn't pregnancy make your legs
Tyler?
not work?
Tyler.
What?
I got an idea.
But that's my favorite part of the argument is that she's like, she shouldn't be doing stuff. She's pregnant. Like, how fucking dare you? You know how many badass pregnant ladies I've seen kick. You know how many badass pregnant ladies in this world could kick the shit out of me right now?
Oh, Tyler, can I answer?
Yes.
Can I also point
Yes,
this out
a lot of
to,
them.
to put a thing on this?
Yes.
Hey, buddy. Hey, you listening?
Yeah.
It's a multiverse, so it's not the traditional 616.
I got it.
Peter
I got it. The best argument against him. It's a fucking cartoon.
It's made for kids.
It's a fucking cartoon.
It's made for families.
It's not fucking real.
Also, other point.
I bet you he doesn't like Black Santa Claus
Another
either.
theory that's going around. There's a theory going around because of her color scheme and like the artistic choices. Some people are theorizing that Gwen Stacy is trans in this movie. I don't think she is.
What are you talking about?
No, there's like somebody that actually there's like a little thing on Twitter, like a fan theory that Gwen is trans.
Sure, if it makes people happy.
But that's oh my god! So there was a tweet that said that, and I thought the same thing. First of all, it's a multiverse, and there's a wealth of possibilities. Secondly, who am I to say how someone feels about art? If somebody feels like they think that they have a theory that Gwen is trans, who fucking cares?
If there's a trans girl out there, like a trans teenage girl, and she went and saw this movie, and she was on the verge of whatever because of all these fucking laws that these fucking adults who are not acting like adults are passing, and they were just on the edge, like just ready to end it all. And they went and saw this movie, and they watched it, and the whole time, every time Gwen's on the screen, and they were validated enough to make it one more day.
That's good.
Good for
That's
fucking
great.
them. Good for them.
Yeah. Also,
Why would I be mad?
Why? Who am I? Dude, it's art. It's open for interpretation. It's like. But my thing is,
I can totally see that.
why would I care? Why would I care?
It's not that I don't
Does
care.
it change
It's just-
how I feel about
right.
the movie?
No. Right. That's the main thing. And also, it's not that shit is not for.
It's not my place
not
to say who
made
should
for
feel
me.
like
Yeah.
they're represented. Who fucking cares, man?
What is wrong with people, man?
I don't know.
You know,
Tyler, I got something to tell you.
Uh.
You're gonna be really excited about this.
I am excited.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm. What up, woodblock?
Oh, this cowboy.
That's a woodblock. Oh, that's the cowboy.
Yeah, we took a week
Yeah.
off. It's back, and it's about to.
We couldn't fucking quit RoboCopalooza.
We're about to take the spike into your ear.
Palooza.
Can I just say, I want to do something a little different.
10 minutes. A classic sounder in 10 minutes. That's how good I am.
Wow, so humble. I don't even know what you were going with the first 10 minutes. Like, I thought you were saying this is gonna be over.
That's
in
how
10
long we
minutes.
have? Fuck you.
Any Hoosiers. Today we are back in animated. I'm gonna be honest. I think we're mostly just gonna do the cartoons because they're 20-minute episodes. I mean, I'm willing to go back and watch RoboCop.
I thought it was great that you sent me
and-
the link last night after I'd
I already
watched it.
seen it.
Already seen it.
But
As soon as you said it, I was like, I got nothing going on. I'm going to watch it right now.
so yeah, we are watching the final episode. Which, but with the hindsight, knowing this is the last episode, the ending is even more hilarious because it just kind of ends. But
before we get into
episode
the,
12
right,
is what we're on.
Menace of the Mind.
Yes.
Now, before we get into the actual episode, I have a great story because when I was in the late 80s, like 87 or so, there was this big news that Marvel had produced an X-Men cartoon. It was called Pride. No, it was called Pride of the X-Men, and it was a 37-minute episode that was being released on VHS. This is how dumb we were. We paid like $50 for this fucking cassette.
Oh wow.
Cause we,
because VHSs were expensive.
I think we had to order it through the mail.
They were expensive back in the day.
right, dude. Like a brand new.
It was like buying a video game now.
A brand new. I remember very distinctly, like Terminator 2 when it first came out on video was like $80 for VHS. Yeah, fucking. Anyway, so
That's why Blockbuster was so popular.
Right,
'cause
so
it was just easier to rent.
we're freaking out, right? Because we're just like, oh my god, this is amazing, and Mom, Dad, you got to buy this for us, and they ponied up the cash, and we bought it, and it's not bad, but it's not great. First of all, Wolverine's Australian for some reason. The kids,
Even before Hugh Jackman. Wow.
Oh yeah, this is 80. I mean, it made no sense that he's has an Australian accent. Like it makes no sense. But it was an interesting. It was well produced. They had to fight the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. You know, Nightcrawler was in it, Colossus, Kitty Pryde. You know, and it was basically about Kitty Pryde. You know, and we thought that was like the coolest thing ever. And it was supposed to be a pilot for an ongoing cartoon with the X-Men. Now that failed and it fell through because they were owned by Sunbow Productions, Marvel was, and Sunbow made all these cartoons, including the RoboCop cartoon that we watched. Now, typically, first seasons of animated shows are 13 episodes. The reason why this was only 12, because they took the budget for the 13th episode and made Pride of the X-Men.
No way.
Yes, they fucking did, dude.
Wow.
I was looking this up on Wikipedia last night, and they were talking about it, and it was like, generally...
That's why it's so sudden.
It
Like,
has
just ends.
it has a note at the bottom of the episode guide, and it says typically 13 episode first seasons for animated shows, but however, Sunbow and Marvel took the budget for the 13th episode to make an X-Men pilot. And I know damn well what that was because we freaked out about it. I think my brother still has the VHS somewhere.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
But
I had
that's
no
my
idea.
story right there, is that somehow this links all the way back to this fucking video that is admittedly not great because Wolverine's Australian. Oh, let's go get some shrimp on the barbie and
Even
I'll
though-
cut these guys up.
Even though he's Canadian.
Yes. I think they even say that he's from Canada.
Yeah.
So I took notes.
Yeah, let's get into episode 12, Menace of the Mind, the return of Clarence Boddicker, which you and I were talking about this.
Let's start off my first.
Well, I'll go off. We'll
Yeah,
just go off your notes since you got them.
I'm going to start with points off for breaking canon via Boddicker and his whole gang. His whole gang shows up.
Yeah, that's what I mean. When we go, I mentioned it in the last time we
Yeah.
did this. It's in an alternate timeline.
Yes, that
So
seems about
it's
right.
the same starting. It's Spider-Verse. It's the same. It's the canon part, and now the show is its own thing.
So let's assume what we can assume from this episode is that in this timeline they killed Murphy, he became RoboCop, and then they disappeared. They
Yes.
like ran off,
Yeah,
never to be found, and then they come back because they're all back and shit.
it's kind of interesting
So
for a kids show.
I
it's
gotta
pretty
say,
interesting.
I gotta say, points off for that. And then when they do the flashback, there's a white dude who shows up in the camera. He's like, "Does it hurt?
Yeah.
Does it hurt?" And it's like, no, that was the guy. Does it hurt? Does it hurt? That was not a white guy.
Wow.
Not that I care.
Wow.
It just
Isn't that the dude who had that really high pitched like
yeah.
hyena
It was
laugh?
well, Leon.
Excuse me while I whip this
yeah.
out.
Do you mind if I
Zip this. Oh, that's
up?
what I meant. No, I was thinking of Blazing Saddles. Excuse me while I whip this out.
So
Equally great line.
So it starts off, and they're talking about this zip collar, right?
Yes.
And
That
for the first
kids
5
are
minutes
using
of the
to
show,
study.
and then it's over. They don't talk
They
about it
dropped
again.
that plot line
They-
completely.
like a fucking hot rock. But here's the note I took about that. They're talking to these kids, and
oh my gosh, you can
kids-
study better.
kids in the future are still dumb and misrepresented. But I got to give aces again on the old man characterization. Fucking flawless, man.
Dude, I gotta love the fact that we were watching this kids show
Yeah.
in the 1980s, and it says, "Well, you've heard it here, folks. OCP values profits over people." I guffawed.
Like they were telling us
Right.
back then
No,
that you're doomed.
You gotta.
Capitalism is bad.
There's a really good video explaining how the 1980s spent the whole 80s explaining Donald Trump was gonna happen to us, and we didn't listen.
No, because we were too busy doing cocaine
Exactly.
and living off
We're all
the fucking
coked up.
profits, dude.
The fact, but again,
So-
it just that's a kid show saying that, which is even funnier to me
Oh,
because
dude.
kids are not gonna pick up on shit
no,
like that.
We didn't.
Yeah.
Duh. No, but one of my favorite bits is they chase after Boddicker, and this
Yeah.
is before we know that RoboCop knows it's Boddicker because he hasn't seen him yet. Whatever. But his left arm gets caught, and,
Ripped off.
Well, he shuts the
Door, yeah.
door, and he gets ripped off and falls into the ocean or whatever. And I thought that was
Lake
really
Michigan,
interesting
probably.
symbolism because in the first movie, like, what's the deal with the left arm? Well, we figured we could save it. He's basically OCP property. Lose the arm.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really interesting symbolism because it was that arm that
Yeah.
came off, right? So interesting. And then,
That's actually I didn't even pick up on that. That was a good catch.
well, I was just writing while I was watching. I didn't do
No,
this.
I
the
mean
last
I didn't
time.
even think about that bit from the first
I was
movie
trying
that
to
would
make
be
sure I was
connected.
because if you think this is about 10 minutes of screen time between those two, so I'm like, I haven't been writing any notes in a while. Let me see. Then they come in with the guy while RoboCop is on the fritz, and they're like, we're gonna help you with these Ultra Cops.
Oh
And-
my god! So This is what I want to talk about. I'm
First of all, the guy talking says, "All right, gentlemen," like there's no women cops.
no, but this is I really want to talk about
Sexist.
this because I recently just put up the last episode we did, and in that episode I mentioned the Ultra Police because we're talking about this episode, and I was 1,000% right, and I said. Because I said, well, this is just clearly a toy commercial.
Yeah.
And it is, because they launched that Ultra Police line of toys.
And it turns out
Yeah.
that the
They
guys
fucking suck, by
they
the way.
suck fucking balls. They are the worst. The one dude can't fucking stop crushing his motorcycle.
So, dude, just look at this. Their team consists of a guy who drives a tank, a guy who flies a helicopter, and a dude who rides a motorcycle.
and they're all white dudes. What a surprise.
Wheels.
Did you notice that the regular cops
It's like it's clearly here's this RoboCop show, but we're gonna put this like shitty
I'm not
GI
gonna
Joe
get-
knockoff.
Yeah, I'm
in
not
it.
going to get into any conspiracy theory at all or whatever, but let me just give you some symbolism here. All three of these super cops are
Ultra Police.
white dudes, okay? And every once in a while they show these two regular cops going like, "Wow, they're really good."
Oh, yeah, they're
and
black
they're
dudes.
black dudes.
I remember that.
Yeah. So the whole
Yeah.
time I'm like, okay, all right.
All right.
And then that douchebag lieutenant shows up again while they're saying it, like, "Good, we don't want RoboCop anyway."
Dude, yeah, Hedgecock.
Right,
Hedgecock.
yeah.
There's continuity.
you caught
The
it.
fact
I thought they took him to jail.
Tyler, can I just talk about how I started this stupid segment on a whim, and
It's turned into the best
no,
part of our
it was
show.
the most serendipitous thing in my life. I just saw this RoboCop live action show on Peacock, and then we went off, and
that
it
was
went.
fucking horrible.
But dude, the convenience of Hedgecock making a reappearance in this episode, and the fact that they got that guy to just be like, "Yeah, well, at least they're human. They're not robots."
and then he's gone again, never to be seen again.
Oh my god,
That's
incredible.
So then the Ultra Police suck. And here's my thing. When RoboCop shot Boddicker, they actually like hit his arm and stuff, like actual wounds. And let me tell you, for a cartoon in the 80s, like everything was lasers because you can't show real violence, which is bullshit.
But they were
'cause
actually
Rambo,
like muzzle flares, yeah.
right on his like no, but like his clothes like tore
Yeah.
because they shot him.
Well, and also,
So I thought that was-
also you're getting a POV shot of them shooting him. Like you're still you
Right.
like you said, this is the closest you get to his actual
Right.
origin, and this is
Yes.
the closest you actually get to
Yes.
the movie, which is impressive.
By the way,
because-
the text that I gave you, the original quote from the movie is, "You probably don't think I'm a very nice guy."
yeah.
And in the show, he says, "You probably don't think I'm a very, very nice person." Woke.
Everything's woke now,
Woke.
even though this was made in '88.
I just thought it was funny.
It's such a good.
But they make a Trump reference in Delta City at the Trumpet Tower.
Oh, I didn't even catch that.
You didn't catch that?
No.
Oh, of course, because everybody knows that Trump is the richest guy in America. And
They kept trying to warn us, Tyler.
I gotta say, Boddicker. Last couple notes. The Boddicker characterization was pretty accurate. As much as you can have Boddicker on a kids show,
Yeah.
he was
and,
pretty close.
And the sound alike actually did sound pretty close to Kurtwood
as close as you can get, right?
I was just like, that dude must be on.
Crack cocaine.
But my favorite part, I
You
gotta
know what
say,
he said to me when I said that?
I'll eat your ass.
it looks like he's gonna kill Boddicker, right? And Lewis
Yeah.
convinces him not to, right?
Yes.
Which, by the way, never happened in another kids show ever. This sequence, right? Like that he's about to pull the trigger and shit.
Dude.
That just doesn't happen.
It's funny that it worked out where we watched the previous episode
Yeah.
because the previous episode has a similar scene where he's literally ripping the
Oh, right,
armor
right, right,
off
right.
of
I
this
forgot
dude.
about
Like he's
that.
about to kill that motherfucker.
So, dude, RoboCop needs
he's
to
got anger
chill.
issues. No, but you're right. That this show again.
But
Does a really
it
good job
lands
of
with
that.
a joke because of that at the end, because he's got him in his hand and they're walking, and Lewis is like, "Wow, Robo or Murphy, I thought you were really, da-da-da." He's like, "Come on, Lewis, you know I was in control the whole time." And then he just fucking flings Boddicker into the thing, and she's like, "You had me going, Murphy." Like, I laughed out loud because that was funny.
Yeah. No, dude, they're actually like I had the one big legitimate laugh for me was the Profits Over People bit because I was like, wow, a kid's show is just going for it.
But I give it high marks just because
I was impressed.
It was bold for a kids cartoon from the 80s.
Yeah.
Took a lot of chances that you didn't see with those types of shows in that time. And
Well, dude, to me,
Still a crappy
what made
toy
me-
commercial, basically. But yeah,
what made me laugh though with that is the fact that the Ultra Police are fucking worthless. Like, again, there are you can. Whoever was given this task, I think, does a well enough job. Understand and actually, because Alpha Commando, they don't. That's clearly just, again, we said they just slapped RoboCop paint on it.
must
and,
have, yeah.
And this show, it is clearly trying to have a younger audience and trying to show this as a cartoon, but it's still, again, everybody was on
Crack cocaine.
in those
course.
days and thought it was somehow,
Including
again,
me.
I say it every time we talk about the cartoons, but it's still baffling because even when they try and represent this story for a kid's show, and they do a good job of that, it's still a very violent story. This is a very violent story.
You know what the worst thing that
Even for kids, it
that
has to be a little
80s
violent.
The worst thing that 80s kids shows, cartoons did to my generation was, and it's trickled on down now to a younger generation too, and why we have so much gun violence and shit. And it is this whole they actually got together the Congress and everything and made laws like you have to fucking show, like if you're gonna shoot down a plane, there's somebody inside, you have to show a parachute. Like you can't even indicate that somebody's been killed in a kid's cartoon. Yeah, but that's bad because none of us ever thought about consequences of violence because there were none in the shows we watched.
Yeah.
And now look, our fucking kids are out there shooting each other up because they don't feel like consequences either. So fuck you, 1980s.
You ruined it for everybody.
No, honestly, the 1980s was the worst fucking decade
Hey,
in America, dude.
you
It
can't-
was.
hey,
It was.
but
Fucking
entertainment-wise,
fuck Reagan. Sure.
It was great.
But fuck Reagan. Just fuck everything that the 80s was about, dude. Fuck it.
And I think the reason why.
Kind of fuck the 90s too, really.
Wow. The reason why I think.
Except for news radio.
The reason why I think it's such an interesting period of American history because this is the thing that I find so interesting. Because it's the world we live in, right? You can be anti-capitalist, but you also operate in a capitalist world.
I live in a capitalist society.
You can write a movie called RoboCop that
Yeah.
is anti-militarization of police, glorifying.
But without capitalism, are you going to get the budget for it?
That's what I mean.
To do it right?
That's how the movie gets made. It's capitalism. And you don't write RoboCop to think how can we sell toys of this because how can we find a way to market this hard R-rated
So
movie
what you're saying
to
now-
kids.
Right.
And you're not saying that but because it's capitalism.
Right. But
These companies do it.
what I'm
And-
hearing
and-
from
and it's-
you
what?
is that so what's standing in the way of a true revolution of human thought and society is all these bullshit movies that we keep fucking churning out every fucking year. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, so our job is pointless.
So the right wingers are right. Hollywood's ruining America.
No, but
They were right.
but that's so fascinating about this because when you
Right?
think about
flip sides of the same coin.
what are the things that come to your mind when you think of like RoboCop? When you think of the themes of that movie?
violence, satire,
Glorifying violence,
glor-
satire.
satire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, it's
Excess,
anti-consumerism. It's
glorifying
anti-capitalism.
excess, yes.
All the commercials, the SUX, like
8
sucks.
miles to the gallon.
Yeah, I'd buy that for $1. Like it is.
Every reality
common-
TV show on TV right now, I'd buy that for
Having
$1.
said that, RoboCop spawns RoboCop 2, RoboCop 3, RoboCop the animated series, RoboCop Alpha Commando.
Commandos, RoboCop the series, RoboCop
Yes.
Prime Directives, RoboCop the reboot.
RoboCop Rogue City, this new video game that I want to talk about actually for a little bit. If we
Do you
can.
think-
Because I feel like it
Is that your
fits-
long box?
It's a combination of RoboCopalooza and my long box, but I mean I don't really have that. But
It's fine.
anyway, yeah.
Guess.
No, I want to bring it up because I want to hear what you think about it because I think it would be fun to play it together in some sort, like do at least a video of us playing it together because I'm interested in it. But I want to keep talking about this episode again. I love that they made Boddicker RoboCop's nemesis because if you think about it, RoboCop's true nemesis is Dick Jones.
Yeah.
Boddicker's just in his way.
Mhm.
Yes, Boddicker kills him, but RoboCop knows that Dick was always the mastermind. It was always Dick pulling the strings.
How ironic that Boddicker killing Murphy is exactly what allowed what's his name to move forward with RoboCop project.
Oh yeah. What was his name?
Well, Miguel Ferrer.
Yeah, but who was his name?
I can't remember. Call us Bobby.
Bobby.
Robert.
No, yeah, something like that. Yeah, I can't remember. Anyway,
You gonna call me Bobby? It was Bobby something.
Yeah.
Robert.
Yeah.
Too bad about what's his name? Hey, it's life in the big city.
No, it makes me laugh because in the beginning of the movie he says, "Do you fly, Bobby?" And he fucking throws him out.
You burnt the fucking money.
Nobody does piss like Kurtwood
Oh
Smith.
God, yes. Okay, we got to move on.
No, before we wrap that up, consequences of that violence, no consequences. Wheels should have died, but I just happen to have a hook that could catch this guy.
Right before his head fucking shatters like a
the
melon.
whole time I was thinking of it. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of Deadpool 2 when he has the X-Force and they just get fucking brutalized. Like that is
Kinda.
right.
But this wasn't meant to. Like this wasn't meant to be funny.
What I'm saying is, in an adult version of this cartoon,
Yeah.
those dudes would eat shit,
Yeah.
and it would be hilarious. It'd
And
be
they-
violent and gory, but
Yeah.
it'd be funny.
Yeah, I mean they didn't die, but in a movie they would have. All right,
And
so
they would, you would see him go. Ah! And
so
they
are
just
we
splat.
doing? Are we doing long box, or are we doing?
Well, I want to quickly put a bow on that by just saying, there's in September. I was making.
We've talked about this a couple times.
I was making a joke about this earlier. We've always talked about RoboCop, right? And we just started doing this. I just started we came up with this idea on a whim, and I was telling Ashley about this. I'm like, how funny is it that I make this whole segment and I completely forgot about the RoboCop game that's coming out this year in September.
No, you've talked about it on the show.
No, but I forgot about it. So I didn't even think about it, and I saw the video. They just released some like gameplay footage of it recently, and I was like, "Oh shit, that's coming out this year." So like, what I'm saying is, I had not thought of it when I come up with the idea for RoboCopalooza. Is what I'm saying, and I would love to do like an extended one, like not for the not on the show particularly, but like on our YouTube of me playing it or talking about it or whatever. But it's funny because there's just quick notes about it. What I saw from the gameplay they were talking about, there's dialogue options, which blew my wad. No, no, I
think the expression is blew my mind.
was telling Ashley I was excited because one, Peter Weller comes back and they scanned him, so his voice and his likeness is in the game. Two, it's hyper violent, like it is ridiculous, and they've got the tracking and targeting, and you got the automatic pistol, and you just fucking gun these dudes down. But what's even better about it is I was watching. It was an IGN video, and they were describing their gameplay, and they were saying that like they haven't really played an FPS, a first person shooter like this in a while, where RoboCop is just a fucking tank. So they've said like we're so used to how like quick and fast these shooters go.
Well, because you have to hide behind shit.
This one you don't.
To
You're
reload.
RoboCop.
Exactly.
So it's like it's so slow and deliberate, and you can like all that shit. And I'm like, dude, I'm gonna eat this game up. And the fact that they're like, oh, there's dialogue options, so I can choose how to play.
When you're
how
looking
my
through
RoboCop is.
through his eyes, do you get that kind of hum that you always see whenever he's
I think
looking
there's
through
like
his?
I think they put like
you ever notice the POV whenever they have
there's like
a
a little
POV?
filter on it.
Well, there's a little screen, but there's
Like a
also kind
grainy
of a
thing.
hum, like a little bit.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
That would be kick-ass.
Dude, it's very authentic, and apparently this is set after RoboCop 2. So because you're dealing with Nuke. There's and stuff like that. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'm interested in that. I do think, because we watched a little bit the other night, we didn't finish it. I do think we should rewatch. Well, you've rewatched it recently. I can rewatch
do it again.
But I think we should go back because honestly, RoboCop 2 isn't as bad as I remember it.
No, it's not
It's
terrible.
not the third
no.
movie. But anyway, so
I've
yeah,
never
RoboCop.
seen the third movie.
Here it is.
Wasn't there a fourth one?
No, because then it was Prime Directive. Right.
Okay. Hey, wait, I thought it was the thank you for your cooperation.
Oh, yeah,
Was
you're
the
right,
outro.
you're right,
What
you're
the
right.
fuck?
Thank you for your
That
cooperation. Good
Yeah.
night.
I think all that is pretty much what I've seen is in it, so I'm excited.
So
You know what
we
I
still
said?
got a couple of
And then the game said,
$1 million, bitch.
and
That's
then I said,
so we still got Mayhem and we still got Longbox.
well, we gotta. I mean, we don't have to do long box. We can just end it with mayhem if you want.
It's up to you. Do you
I'm sorry.
we got time.
No, we'll start the thing properly. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot how loud it is.
I didn't. I fucking wrote that fucker.
Okay, we're gonna start one more time. No, we're gonna let it play out. Hold on. Now.
I forgot to go over there today.
I thought I could do the effect on it, but it didn't work.
Yeah, we've done that so many times.
Yeah, we haven't.
So I don't know. So first, our book this week is called Within Temptation from Opus Comics. I don't know if you noticed the price.
Oh, I didn't notice that either. It's $6.66.
They told me about that when I got it, but this is actually there's apparently there's a band. Who is it? Incendium.online, but Marika Nijkamp, Montos. Apparently this comic was made by a band.
Which is weird because that's the second comic book we have that is made by a group, like a
Right.
music, because the other one is a rap group,
Yes,
which is crazy.
we still gotta get to that one.
Yeah, or I would say more of a hip hop group.
So to me, like I'm a big fan of like crazy dystopia kind of.
Oh, I
you know,
ate
you-
this
you-
book.
You
up.
don't really know what's going on. I've talked before about how Strike Force Morituri is a book from Epic back in the 80s that was really, really cool because the idea of that book was that this alien horde had come to Earth and there was no way to stop them until this guy developed the Morituri effect. And what it was that these people went through this treatment and they would gain superpowers to fight the aliens, but getting those superpowers was like you're going to die in a year after you get those powers.
Yeah.
You're going to die one way or the other. You might be slow, you might blow up, you never know.
Yeah.
But you're going to die. And so it's obviously like, oh my God. But the art is very reminiscent of it. And the costuming also is very reminiscent of that Strike Force Morituri. Yeah, this art is insane.
It's insane. There's a couple double page splashes that are
Yes.
just unreal. Like,
Yeah.
and
The
that's
dots on the people's faces. I don't know if
okay,
you noticed the different
yeah.
places that the dots were. Like that
Yeah.
was kind of interesting. They
I do want to say this.
rank. Yeah.
You and I were talking about this. We don't talk about the writing is really good in this.
Yes.
I really like the world building and the lore that we're really getting pushed, and the reveal at the end was cool.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
Sometimes, like
And the art was fantastic. Oh my gosh.
there's
it's great.
there's different stories that we have done before. There's different comic works where hey, do I want to read this again? That's kind of like how do we review this? Well, to me, would I read it again is probably the best way to review it. Or would I keep reading
Yes.
the subsequent
We should
issues?
keep-
This is one of 3.
Oh yeah, I would read this again.
Why don't I just go ahead and start collecting this, and we'll
I would
put
love
that
to
on my
finish
list.
the whole story.
We'll-
Yeah,
It's three issues
it's good stuff. I really like it. No,
from Opus Comics.
the
Yep.
reason that well, it's funny because there's some. I always think about this when it's any sort of art.
Yeah.
I like to think of it's got to pass like a not necessarily a Jake check, like a Jake vibe check, but it's like a I like playing with the idea of why do I like something?
Mhm.
Why is this working for me? Why is this appealing to me? Because
There's-
that's how art works. Some things connect, some things don't.
Yeah.
And I think it is because this book plays on a lot of my sensibilities, things I really like. It's does a great job of world building and building stakes. And like, first of all, it is kind of funny that it's a throuple. That's like the main thing. Like, you don't usually see throuples in these books, but or in any media really. But it's just like you said, this faraway world, this dystopian looking world, and like
It could be ours.
but it's also you know what it gives me ideas of it, and in a way, one of the influences I feel like is Dune, and that's why I think you liked it, because it has because it's mixing like this high religious thing with technology, and that's why Tyler's smiling.
See, when I talked about Strike Force Morituri, one of the my upcoming project in September, a lot of the reason why that became that
Yeah.
is because for the Sins of Sinister event, that whole 3 months where they just had like 3 X books, it
Yeah.
was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It was called Sins of Sinister #1, so it was like a 60-page book, and it's the beginning, and they had variant covers, and one of them was a Strike Force Morituri variant, which is recreating the first issue of the original series. And that reminded me, and when I started reading this, like, there's a very Mobius style a little bit to the art. There's a little bit of a Mobius flair, which is why I like it too, but I just like it. It's the kind of art.
It's a solid book.
There's art you see sometimes and it's just really muddy. This is pretty, the lines are pretty clean. It's the coloring and the inking, I like it. I like it a lot.
I've talked about it before, and I talked about it.
How much do I like it? A lot.
I talked about it with your brother's book.
Mm.
I love it when a book can give me scale, and so many times reading this, I got scale.
Yeah.
I got idea. Like it's great to. I love it when an artist knows how to fill the space,
Yeah.
and because the way I look at art a lot of the times with the things I do, I look at it this way as like, there's this room, there's this space, and how much can I fill it with?
Right.
And I see a lot of that in this book. Like when
Depends
she
on
meets,
what you're filling it with.
so there's this thing called the matriarch, which is like this all-knowing godlike being, and it's always a woman, is my assumption, because it's the matriarch.
Yeah.
Well,
it's
but when you see her, it's these long black tentacles that go to the ceiling.
Like,
of this
who knows
giant,
where they go?
You don't know where they go because it goes off the page.
Well, it goes into a light.
But when the top goes off the edge
There's
of
a
the
spotlight
page,
at the
and
top.
like so you get this like this big thing, and it's just great. It's I really dig it, and I'm totally down to finish the series. Like
Yeah, we can do
if
that.
it's a 3-book series, I'd love to read the other 2 books. But yeah, I mean, it just blackens, and they use shading, and I love it when an artist really has a hold of their craft and understands how they can work with the space they're given.
Cool, like how it just.
Yeah. Dug it a lot. You know what I say? You know what I say to this one? I say,
Yes.
I would read it again.
Me too. In fact,
Yes!
we might as well go ahead and just finish out the series the next couple weeks.
Yeah, maybe.
Or months, I guess.
Anyway.
I
You
always
ready?
forget. Comics are monthly. Yeah. We're moshing right now in Jake's basement. His dog doesn't like it.
Where'd he go? His tail's wagging now. You said his name. You
his
said the
name.
name
Cooper,
of the
Cooper,
beast.
Cooper, Cooper,
He said,
Cooper,
you know what, man?
I'll eat your ass.
Not in the fun way. I mean, he would literally eat it.
He would eat it. Like if you died and he didn't have food, he would just start eating your body, your dead body.
I could write a book about what you don't know.
I thought, well, why haven't we never used that for Mayhem? Because it says I could write a book about
I don't know why you don't use it. I know.
I could write a book about what you don't
Let's
know.
save the long box for next week. I know you got one, but I don't really have one because I forgot about it.
You stupid whore.
I can do one if you want.
No, we can wrap up the show. We're running
get the
long
hell outta
anyway.
here. Let's get the hell outta
Wow.
Let's get the hell out of here. I'm tired of being in your basement.
I'll drink your blood.
That's the new single from. Hey, wait a second. new single from the amazing T-Bird.
Go ahead. I'm just
I
kidding.
thought you'd be more excited. On Saturday, June 10th, which will be a couple days from now as we're recording it.
Well, look at you.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I hope you all tune in. Listen to it.
I said, hey, we got
What's
a new
my
single.
Song.
Anything else you want to fucking plug?
No!
Drawn to DC. It's been going off without a hitch. We just did Flashpoint Paradox.
If Hitch means viewers, you're right.
Next week is Justice League War.
Which one? When are you guys doing the ones that I
Never.
want to do?
You ass.
We purposefully record on days that I know you're at work, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
What's in the box? What's in the
Nothing.
box?
He's
dude?
just trying to get my attention.
Hey,
Cooper, knock it off. Trying to play the song out.
yeah, we're trying to play the end theme, and you're trying to be a dog.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Dick.
Hey, I'm a dog. I can only be what I can be. Whatever.
I don't understand human consciousness.
Whatever.
What are these things called fingers?
Whatever.
That's what dogs would do.
What's a thumb? Probably eat your thumb.
Does this go in my butt? You know?
That's every time I look at my thumb. Does this go in my butt? Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.